To rise and give hope, whether by bringing pride to a small, historically black school through basketball excellence or simply by believing in a young woman, even after she has stopped believing in herself, I have been able to achieve that purpose in my life. But I believe that the time has come to widen the circle. In 2007, my team came to the nation's attention when we responded to comments made by radio host Don Imus about us after our participation in the NCAA championship game. Many people were surprised by the intensity of feelings surrounding the debate. I was not. The overwhelming show of support for us in the aftermath of those comments showed me very clearly that Americans were ready for something better than the casual vulgarity and hurtfulness that characterized so much of our culture. My team stood up and spoke out, not just on our own behalf or on behalf of female athletes, but for all of us. And people all around the country saw, and some for the first time, how and who this kind of thoughtless prejudice hurts. They say that God never gives you a burden that you can't bear, and maybe that's true. But I know that it has always been better for me to pick up that burden, no matter how heavy, and to carry it to the very best of my abilities. You have to stay true to yourself and to what you believe. The minute you allow disappointment or tragedy to stop you in your tracks, you have stolen something from yourself, something more precious than you can even imagine, your dreams. It is through overcoming that we understand what we are capable of. It is only after we have been tested that we can go on to offer comfort to others. My dream for the young ladies I coach is that they never measure themselves with someone else's yardstick or simply by wins and losses. I would like them to know that real success is achieved when you determine your own worth, fulfill your own destiny, and stand up for what you know to be right. And I want these young women, the leaders of tomorrow, to go forth and multiply. What we have learned, we must now teach. Every year, I give my teams the same icebreaker. At the end of every dinner, one player is chosen to stand up and share something about themselves that no one else knows. The challenge comes when it's time for me to stand up. Like everything else, I see it as an opportunity to coach. If practices have been tough, I'll tell them something that will give them a good laugh. But during the 2005-2006 season, there was something else on my mind. In the first days of 2006, the whole country stood by and waited for word on 13 men trapped deep underground after an explosion in a coal mine in Sago, West Virginia. Prayers for those men came from all around the world, but I felt a special kinship with those families. You see, I grew up watching my father go down into the mines of Pennsylvania every day of his working life, and I prayed each day and every night for his safe return. I know, as everyone who grew up in a coal mining town does, what it feels like to hear that siren rip through town. I know what it feels like to see my own panic reflected on every face I pass. I know what it feels like to run into the fire hall asking, what shift was down there? And I know what it feels like to wait. So one night after dinner, I stood up and I said, I ask a lot of you, especially in terms of discipline and hard work. You come out of practice sometimes and you're banged up and you're sore, but if I don't feel that you're pushing yourself as hard as you need to, I'll push you a little more. But I'll never ask more of you than I'll ask of myself. You see, my father loved music more than anything else in the world. He was invited to record and tour with some of the best jazz musicians in the world at the time, but he really didn't believe that a career in music could give our family a stable life. So he crouched in the wet, dark corridors of the mine, knowing that a metal bucket hitting a wall 10 miles away could cause a spark, trapping him and the men he worked with. In the middle of August, he would go to work dressed like it was 20 degrees below zero, because miles under the earth, it felt like the dead of winter. And at the end of his 8-hour shift, he had nothing, absolutely nothing, but a paycheck to show for it. No glory, no trophies, just a hacking cough and black phlegm, and a little money to put food on our table. You see, my father worked hard with his back bent over, miles underneath the ground. We get a chance to stay in the light. When I fall asleep with X's and O's running through my brain. I feel like I'm the luckiest person in this world. And I want you to know how lucky you are, too. You see, basketball may be the greatest game there is, but it's more than a game. It's a reflection of life's lessons. What you learn on the court will take you everywhere you need to go. That's why I don't mind the work that we have to do to be the